Okay, so now let's get into my actual lesson for reciprocal teaching. Now with reciprocal teaching, I would already have pre-assigned groups. And it's very important to have those groups pre-assigned because you want to have a healthy mix for your groups for your students. You don't want to have one group that is really strong and knows their stuff and have a weak group that's going to struggle throughout the lesson. You want to have that nice healthy mix so everyone's abilities can bounce off one another and really grasp all the information. Okay, so now let's actually get right into the lesson. Okay, boys and girls, who remembers what this is a picture of? That's right, the solar system. And we've been learning about the solar system, and does anybody remember why the sentence is up here? Right, because that's the order of the planets. Now let's go over the sentence. Say it with me. My very educated mother just served us noodles. Right, and that's to help you remember the order of the planets by their names. Okay, now since everyone's already in their groups, I already gave you your numbers for your groups, my 1, 2, 3, and 4, and your little roles. Okay, so person number 1, where's my person number 1s in the groups? Raise your hand. Okay, good, you are my astronauts. You are going to be my reader and my summarizer. And your job is to take your assigned paragraph and you're going to read it and you're going to kind of give a little summarization of the paragraph to all of your group members. Now that doesn't mean you reread it to them. That means you basically tell them what it was about. Don't reread it, okay? That's going to take up too much time. My person number 2, where are my 2s? Raise your hand. 2, okay. You are my comments. You are the clarifier of the group. Now with clarifying, there's at least one vocabulary word in each paragraph that I gave your groups. And your job is to take that vocabulary word and make sure everyone in your group understands what that means. And in case there's any other type of information that they might not know, you have to clarify it and help them with it. Help them to understand it. Now where are my number 3s? My galaxies. Galaxies. Okay, galaxies, you are my questioners and my connectors. You are going to take any type of information from your passage that you might not know or might have a question about. And you're going to write the questions down and you're going to help your group understand and answer those certain questions that you might have. Or even you could relate it to anything out in the actual real world. Okay? So in my last people, my 4s, I didn't forget about you. 4s, okay, my rockets. You're going to be my illustrators. And now what illustrators do, they draw pictures. So I want you to, once your reader gives you the summarization of your passage, you're going to draw what's actually about. Okay, everyone understand? Great. Okay, so I'm going to give you 10 minutes to finish up this part for this lesson, okay? 10 minutes. Okay, everybody, go. And now let's pretend 10 minutes went by. Okay, so let's go back to our KWL chart that we started last week when we started the solar system. Okay, we said for what we know about the solar system, we said we know it's in outer space, we know astronauts can go there, and we know rocket ships have to help the astronauts go there, and we also know that there are stars in outer space. So those are great chunks of information to actually know and to understand about the solar system. Now let's look over here at our W. W, what we want to know about the solar system. We want to know what the solar system is actually made of. We also want to know what part of the solar system do we actually live on. Because we know we're part of the solar system, but we don't know where we are. And then last one, we want to know if the stars can actually make different shapes instead of just being one hot ball of gas. Okay, so now group by group, I'm going to start with group 1 right up here. And then I'm going to ask each person in their group what they discovered. So I would ask the astronaut, who was my reader summarizer, what their passage was about. I would ask the clarifier about any type of vocabulary word that they might have had. And then I would also write it down on any type of piece of paper or board that the students could have for a visual. And I would ask the galaxies if their group had any question, any type of way they could relate that information to a real world situation or real world type of information. And then I would also ask the rocket to stand up in their groups, in their seats, stand up, and they would show their picture about what their passage was about. So once you do all of that stuff, I would also ask, back to my lesson. Okay, so boys and girls, I asked you to come up with 2 pieces of information from your passage. And then you as groups are going to decide what certain piece of information you think is going to be the most important to put on the L section of the KWL chart. Okay? So we're going to write them down. And then this would be when I have it written down, or write it on the board so the students could have it. Okay, for the L section of the KWL chart. Group 1, you told me that the solar system is made up of mainly the sun, planets, and the planets' moons. And that's really great because you also use your vocabulary word, solar system, in your statement. Okay, group 2, you're the ones that told me the planets move in paths around the sun called orbits. And there's another vocabulary word we have to know, orbits. So that's also a definition that you have to remember. Group 3, you told me a star is a large ball of hot gases. And that's also good because that's also another vocab word. And group 4, a group of stars is called a constellation. And that's an awesome thing to put on the L section because that was also part of the W section that we had. So you see, we answered some of our questions from the KWL chart. Okay, boys and girls, I want you to close up your books, put them away, and we're going to go do something else. Okay? Thank you for watching my lesson.